continuing my little saga of when I'm going to do my errands, right? So lo and behold, again, today I arrive at my appointment. I made sure I arrived super early since the last time when I went, and this is going back to the same one second to the same situation where I said like, I had to print papers and to go to this appointment, and then it wasn't letting me send the emails to print them out at the print shop. Then when I got to the appointment, I had the appointment for like 8:30 in the morning. And when I got there, they claimed that there was no appointment, all of this. So I made sure I made an appointment for this week. And I've already made an appointment for the following month. But so this week, they told me my appointment was like 9:50. It's like 10 o'clock here. So I just came back. But I made sure that I got there like way earlier because on the paper he said it was 9:50. But I don't know, to me, like that looked like a 1, like as if it was like 9:10. So I made sure I was like there by like 9. And all of a sudden, new tactics. So since I've got there, I didn't take my phone. I actually don't walk with a smartphone anymore. If you know, like all of my experience with targeting and all that, but it's not because of that anymore. It's just that now I just really don't have a smartphone. But in the beginning of when the Sims were, I guess, being told this and that, I guess they try to tell them, and this is why it's significant to this story, that maybe like whatever was going on telepathically with me, that they were able to intercept my thoughts or whatever, was because of the phone. And then obviously that went out the window because I didn't have a phone anymore and they were still being able to, I guess, see what I was visualizing, right? And again, I don't know how it works in terms of how, what they see, but I've overheard some of them make comments, say like, oh, it's like watching a movie or something like that. So I don't know what goes on there in their little minds, but it might be like, like in Pleasantville where everybody else sees in black and white. Maybe the chosen ones, like when they see our visualizations is like something in full color. I don't know. Don't ask me. That's just me, like, try to think of reasons of why it's so spectacular when I visualize. And I've said this in many blogs and articles that I've written. I noticed that when I would visualize, the parasitic ones didn't like me doing it. They didn't like me visualizing so that the other Sims can see it. Because some of the Sims, they really liked it because it was like they were, again, watching like a movie, right? So, new tactic, anytime they give me any BS and I'm waiting on a line, I start visualizing. You won't believe how fast those lines move because they don't want me to visualize and for them to see that I'm visualizing. They start like skipping people like, "Oh, you can come in now. Come in now." They want you out of the line. So anyway, so I got to the office because I started doing that because I heard them like kind of simming in the background. I just started visualizing. I don't look at anybody. All of a sudden they let me in, but they were going to try to say like, "Oh no, did you need to bring your phone and we need to send you a text to confirm your They never ever in all the time that I've been there did that, right? But all of a sudden today they want to do that. I'm like, I don't have my smartphone, and I just started like saying like the last time you told me to this and that. So I just started visualizing because they were just pissing me off. All of a sudden they let me in, new character, new person, right? Because now they're just switching up people that are supposed to be in this office that before was supposedly only one person who handled that, right? And I've gone now different weeks, so that I'm checking to see. It's supposed to be every other week. Supposedly the last person told me that they were going to be like switching, and then I came this week and it's none of the people that were there from last week. This time they put a man. He actually looked pretty good. I guess it was like eye candy, so I wouldn't like flip out or something. But anyways, I was I was like, this is like I don't know. You never know because I always feel like that's the devil's eye candy. Like they try to put people who look like your type or something like that, maybe calm me down. I don't know. Even if it wasn't so and he just actually was handsome, he was just there, it calmed me down. So anyways, so I just went to double check that the documents that I left, like the last time I was down there, were in the system. So supposedly now they're in the system. Supposedly everything should be fine. I should hear a response in a month, right? Um, but this goes back to the point of what I was talking about, like the visualizations. So even when sometimes I go to church, you're in church and I'm with my kids and like I'll start, sometimes I'm listening, but of course your mind drifts off, right? I pray a lot in my house, like deeply. I go to church just kind of like also to hear, the word of God, but also to take communion. It's like a different feeling. Like I know at the end of the day, like I can go to church, but I know that like when I get home, I better pray my ass down, like, I pray down the demons to oblivion. So I kind of like have it worked out in my mind, so I don't worry about it, because I know some people just say like, oh, that, it's not the same, the Catholic Church or this and that. Like, no, I like the calmness of the Catholic Church, to hear the words, to do the communion. I like the traditional aspects of it. I like it. That's me. Okay. But I know when I get in my house, I go pray, prayer warrior style in my house, and I have to speak in tongues and all that and anointing. Like, I know the difference. But anyways, so I'll be in church and my mind might start drifting. And what they did the last week is, since we made sure that nobody sits next to us, because sometimes people would come in, and that's what I mean, like, there are parasitics everywhere. People would come into church and then they would start like sometimes simming and saying things, right? So we made sure that we kind of take up like the bench so that nobody can like really sit next to us. And even if there are like some seats behind us, we kind of close it off. And I know this sounds like bad because we're in church, but if you've been through what I've been through, okay? So I made sure that like there's no plausible reason, we're not a family of 6, we're a family of 5, that anybody would just specifically try to sit with us, including the fact that we sit all the way to the back of the church, so that like there's no absolute reason why you would really want to sit back there with us, right? With all the spaces and all the chairs that are around. So because they couldn't sit with us like the last time, um they put a man in front of us, to every time I started visualizing, he would lean over to the person next to him. That person wasn't even talking to him. It was like a young teenage kid. And he would just start like whispering stuff. I couldn't hear what he was whispering. It's not important what he was whispering, but it was just that I noticed that at each moment that I started to visualize, he would like lean over and do that, as if to cut like, my concentration, so that the visualizations wouldn't happen. So God knows what kind of story they tell these Sims of why they're able to like see my visualizations or whatever. I don't even know why it's surprising to them, because they definitely damn well know that they're in a simulation. They definitely damn well know that there's things that we are not the same, period. Okay. Just in case, like they don't understand that, I guess. But again, my videos are for other fellow chosen ones, other fellow flame carriers, starseeds, whatever you want to call us, that are not of this world, because we have been, incarnated here to do other things. But anyways, yeah, so like God knows what kind of storyline besides that they probably say is the reason why that they're able to see my, because it's not the phone, because I don't even walk with it. So that's what I mean. Like, so they'll get really upset when I start visualizing. So in my case, because like I said, I don't know what everyone else is going through around the world, wherever they are in the world, in whatever situations they are, if they're awakening and all that. But in my case, I guess my superpower is, my, I guess, like ability, like telepathy, I guess, and the fact that they can see what I'm visualizing. That's what I am noticing, I guess, from everything that has happened. Okay. Maybe other people have other little superpowers or stuff like that they recognize, and it's not something that like I even control, because obviously, and it got me really upset the last time, because when I was in the church, I said to myself, they have some gosh darn nerve, because these people go rewinding your mind, reminding your memories. That's not my problem, that God made me able to visualize or whatever, and that you can see it. I'm entitled, just like everyone else, to visualize and imagine whatever I feel like imagining. And they want to try to control even this, because if they're doing kind of like narratives and story, that's why they try to come around you and speak about other things when you start drifting off into your own thoughts of in your own energy, because they want to keep you focused on whatever the story is, I guess, so that it doesn't appear as if like whatever is different about you is real. They want to hide God. They want to hide, I guess, this fact that, I guess, I don't know, like star seeds and flame carriers are waking up and they exist in this reality. I don't know what the deal is, but that's definitely been my experience. So I will from now on always use it to my advantage. I mean, sometimes I do, just like I said, without like realizing it, because I'll be remembering something, or I'll just be like thinking about something, and I'll start visualizing. And what they'll try to do is come around you, make noises, drop things to just cut the concentration. And they've been doing that since I've arrived in France, especially when I used to take public transportation. They wouldn't allow me to like fall asleep on the bus, or I'm sorry, not on the bus, on the train, things like this, because obviously they didn't want the other Sims to be able to see, I guess, whatever it is that I was dreaming about or visualizing. So quite the stir on this side of the world in the Mediterranean for me, little old me. But anyways, I just wanted to tell that story. Maybe people might think it's weird, they might not believe it, but yes, this is really happening in this world at this time. That's all.